Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee with Doc here on Tuesday morning on January the 5th. Glad you're here with us today. We got started yesterday on the book of Revelation here on these early mornings on the bluff. And remember yesterday I told you some of the things I wasn't going to do. And so we may have cut our audience in half. I don't know. But I felt like that the book of Revelation in 5 to 10 minute segments would get us so bogged down if we tried to delve into it deeper than what we're able to go in these kind of things. Generally speaking, it would take about a 45-minute to an hour session each time to ferret out all we would want to do in the book of Revelation. So hopefully, if nothing else, it'll just maybe encourage you to do a little bit of diving on your own into the Word. Now, today we're going to just give a little bit of introduction into the actual book of Revelation. So get your big sip. And let's begin by just setting the date and the context. Most scholars believe that in the latter part of the apostolic age is when Revelation, obviously later on than some of the other New Testament books, that it was written. Most people put the date somewhere around AD 95 in that area. And the author is also not too hard to ferret out when you begin to look at the authorship of the Revelation. First of all, it is the revelation of that was given to John the Apostle, John the Beloved. He was the writer of the Gospel of John. He was also the author of 3 New Testament books, 1st, 2nd, 3rd John, and those that bear his name. And then he was in the latter age of the apostles. He was one of the few who survived a terrible time of persecution. And to set the context for the book of Revelation, under Rome, there was a horrible, terrible persecution of believers, of Christians. Of course, that was aided with the Jews who were under the dominion of Rome, but there was a terrible persecution under Rome. And it was a dangerous time in that about the turn of that century, it was and before it was a dangerous time to be a Christian. We think it's dangerous now, and in some parts of our world, it really is. We here in America, we get upset if we're told to not gather for a week or two because of a pandemic or something like that, and I understand that perfectly. But we feel like we're put upon. We feel like we're under persecution. We feel like here in America that Christians are being persecuted. Now, let me tell you something. I know that it's irritating. And I know that there are some things and I'm right there with you when it comes to taking a stand for some of the things that we need to take a stand for. I appreciate John MacArthur for taking the stand that he did during this pandemic. And I really do. And I hate it. But people, let me tell you something. We have not seen anything yet. It's been irritating. It's been uncomfortable. It's been maddening. But there are places in the world today, right now as we speak, where believers are being killed, beheaded, put to death, simply for the crime of loving Jesus. And that's what it was in John's day. Terrible persecution. Domitian tried to kill John. He was unsuccessful in his attempt at assassinating John. So he just figured the best thing is out of sight, out of mind. So Domitian banished John to a little island in the Aegean called Patmos. Now, Patmos was about, in land area, was about 10 miles long and about 6 miles wide, and it was used exclusively as a prison. Somebody in today's world has said it was the Gitmo of the Aegean. It was like Guantanamo Bay. It was just a little island. We know Guantanamo is a part of Cuba, but you get my gist here that it was a secluded island that was used for nothing but prisoners. And that's where John is. He's been banished to the island of Patmos. And it was there that that John wrote the book of Revelation. And it was written for one reason. It was written for one reason. I don't care how bad it gets. I don't care how irritated it becomes. I don't care how crooked or how socialistic the government gets. I don't care what happens to America. John wrote the book of Revelation to tell us who are able to read it, to encourage believers that we win. Isn't that great? You read the book of Revelation, and the bottom line is, we win. We win. Listen to what was written at the close, toward the close of Revelation. Then the angel showed me the river of the water of life, as clear as crystal, flowing from the throne of God and of the Lamb, down the middle of the great street of the city. And on each side of the river stood the tree of life, bearing 12 crops of fruit, yielding its fruit every month. And the leaves of the tree are for the healing of the nations. No longer will there be any curse. The throne of God and of the Lamb will be in the city, and his servants will serve him. And they will see his face, and his name will be on their foreheads. And there will be no more night. They will not need the light of a lamp or the light of the sun, for the Lord God will give them light, and they will reign forever and ever. He's talking about the end. We win. Now, when you come to the title of the book of Revelation, it's Revelation singular, not plural, not revelations, but the revelation. And it's not the revelation of John. The title is in the very first part of the book, which says this is the revelation from Jesus Christ. So it's the revelation having to do with what Christ says. It's coming from Christ. The apocalypsis, which literally means an unveiling. It's not the unveiling of John, it's the unveiling of Jesus Christ to John. And it was given to John in order to pass on to us. Now let me give you a quick a quick outline of the book of Revelation. And that's found in Revelation chapter 1 and verse 19. Let me just read it to you right quick. Chapter 1 and verse 19. Where God says, "Write therefore to John what you have seen, what is now, and what will take place later." Write down what you've seen, that's the vision. Write down the things which are, the present day, and then write down the things which shall be hereafter. So let me give you a little outline of how we're going to approach this. First of all, we're going to talk tomorrow about the things which you have seen. This is basically the vision that John gets when he's given the task of writing the book of Revelation. The things which you've seen, that's John's vision, and it's capsuled in one chapter. And then he says, write the things which are, and that's the letters to the 7 churches. We'll get into that later on in a couple of weeks. But the 7 churches that were present during his day, and it's to write for them, or write to them. And then the last thing was the things which shall be hereafter. That's chapters 4 through 22. So if you want an outline, it's in Revelation chapter 1, verse 19. And it's the things you've seen, his vision in chapter 1. The things which are, the churches in chapters 2 and 3. And the things which shall be hereafter, chapter 4 through 22. And we will look at it that way, and that's basically our outline as we go through the book of Revelation. If you get lost in it, go back to Revelation chapter 1, verse 19, and therein lies the outline for which we're going to be hanging all of this on when we come back together. You guys have a great day today, and I know we haven't gotten into it yet. You wanted to, but we'll get into it, start digging tomorrow. So you guys have a great Tuesday and be blessed today. And one of the things we're going to see is we're going to get blessed just by reading it. So stay with us and get a blessing this year. You guys have a great day.